Didn't have the mic on. Well, good morning, good morning, good morning. This is the day that the Lord has made, and I'm definitely going to rejoice and be glad in it. And I am so excited once again to be able to come on Faith and Tea. I'm more excited about the fact that He woke me up this morning. Can I get an amen on that from somebody? Good morning, good morning. This is what we call Wisdom Wednesday. We know that Brother G will be joining us shortly, but I ask you right now to do me a favor. Definitely like, comment, and share. And then do me another favor. Let's evangelize this morning and put some names in there. Invite some people personal and say, listen, I need you to come on and support the Faith and Tea family. I do want to say my howdy do's already to none other than the Dean herself, Mother Margaret Feaster, who it almost takes a hurricane, a snowstorm, a tornado, and some more stuff to keep her from off of Faith and Tea. To my very own friend, buddy, uh, Elder Richard Clark, thank you for joining us this morning. To Pastor Anna Lyons, who I'll be seeing in a couple of days. Yes, Aunt Pastor Anna Lyons is on here. And thank you so much for joining. To my pastor, Fred from Kenya, God bless you. Thank you for joining us this morning, and to all the other ones. Let me see if I see to the executive pastor herself, none other than um, Evangelist Rosemary Townsend. Thank you for joining us this morning. God bless you. God bless you. Yeah, let's do some evangelizing. Let's invite some folks on here this morning and let them know. Listen, it's midweek. And I tell people all the time, if you can get through to the day, then really you've already accomplished a lot, because it shouldn't take that much more for you to cover these next 2 days. And for the Kingdom Fellowship Assemblies International family, we are heading to Orlando, Florida for the next couple of days. We're going in there for our leadership conclave. And yes, I will be teaching a segment there at the leadership service, and we're excited about that. We've got a busy week coming up. I tell you, Pastor Sean and I talk about it a lot of times about just being busy, and it's a good busy. I find myself not even being as tired as one would be if I was just running the street, because man, I can remember. Don't get me to testifying today. I can remember the days that I hung out and had to get up the next morning, whether my mother's raised me. If I went out on a Saturday night, it didn't matter what time I came in, I had to get up to go to not just church, but the Sunday school. I was raised in Sunday school. Amen, somebody. And so we thank God for that. But we're excited about what God is doing, and just how he's watching over us. On yesterday was a nice day here in Georgia. And so, the pollen has been just horrible. And so I keep my motorcycle inside the garage, but it seemed like the door wasn't even closed because there was so much pollen on the car. So I took it out, hadn't had it out in a while. Took it out and went through the car wash and cleaned it up. Then I took a couple of pictures and sent them to the Fantastic Four. And one of the things, Pastor Anna Lyons, guess what I told him? I said, if retirement is this good, then I'm ready. Amen, somebody. I had the car cleaned up, filled up the tank, and went and took care of some business. And matter of fact, even did a video and told them, say Pops is doing all right. Sometimes you got to encourage yourself, pat yourself. It wasn't nothing special. It wasn't that I went to my bank account and there was some unexpected money in there. It wasn't that I got a report from the doctor or anything like that. It was just one of those things where I was saying, Lord, I just thank you. And every once in a while, that's what we got to do. Not only encourage ourselves, but also do that diligence of speaking into the atmosphere and letting the Lord know how much you appreciate him. And so we're just so excited about what God is doing in our lives in this season. Uh, Later on, towards the end, we're going to be releasing for the first time our commercial. We have a commercial that was done by Pastor Abram Brooks, who's my son, and Charlotte and Lady Charlene. And it takes a team. It takes a team. And when we were coming up, they would say it would take a village to raise a child, but it takes a team to do things. And one of the things that I do appreciate about the Faith and T family is I believe that we are really a family. We look out for each other, and so God bless you, Elder Feaster. Thank you for joining. But I was thinking about this is not a one man show. Even how the Lord has blessed that when I travel, Pastor Sean just jumps right in the seat and takes over. And people don't realize that. Here you go, and I'm saying that because I want to add this in. People don't realize that God bless my son is on Pastor Abram Brooks. People don't realize that being nice, um, it shouldn't be as hard as it is, but everybody's not nice. And so on last evening when he sent me the commercial, I sent him some coffee money back, and he said, "Pops, I got you." And it wasn't that I don't know that he has me, because I do. Anything I ask him to do, he do. But I told him, I said, it's sometimes it's nice to be nice. Amen, somebody. Did you hear what I just said? Sometimes it's just nice to be nice. And when we learn and get that down in our spirit, it's not always about the amount. Sometimes it's not even the amount. And when I say amount, sometimes finance isn't even involved in it. Sometimes a simple thank you, just saying thank you, will go a long way. So I appreciate everybody that helps the Faith and Tea operation to stay afloat. I thank everybody, even with the Kenya family, how we are establishing, even on our Mondays, the 1 hour power. And for those that have jumped on, Elder Feast is on, Elder Richard Clark is on, and I challenge any of you all to get on. But if you get on, my advice is to be ready, because I don't mind passing the baton and allowing you to share something. Because guess what? The Bible lets us know that we overcome by each other's testimony. And sometimes it's the small things. Elder Richard Clark got on there a couple of Mondays ago and just dropped it. Bloop, just dropped the mic on the folks. Didn't even know he had a little time in between appointment, and blessed our soul. Then the following week, Elder Feaster came on and did the same thing. And then even with the Kenya family, uh, uh, Pastor Fred and Pastor Thomas and Bishop are always sharing and pouring in. And I'm telling you, for you all that have never been on a missions trip, my. I'm telling you right now, we're going October. You'll see the commercial, but we're going in October. And my thing is, listen, if you've ever wanted to go, hear me when I say this. This is the trip that you want to go on. And let me tell you why. One of the things that Bishop Eugene Taylor taught me or said to me when I became a member, he looked back at me one Saturday morning before prevailing prayer, and he said, "You do know when I go on these missions trips, you're more than welcome to go." And at that time, I didn't even have my passport. I got my passport. I told him, I said, "I got my passport." So my first stamp was in Jamaica. That was the first stamp that I got. Since then, I've gone on 3 missions trips with him. And when I tease and tell people, and I make it known, I say I am an international preacher now, because each spot that I've gone to, a door has been open for me to be able to minister over there. Now, here's what I'm saying. I did not do it for that reason. I did it because I wanted to experience, because I already knew that God had put this group of individuals in my life, and that is none other than Pastor Fred, who uh, um, is a young pastor over in Kenya, and he immediately and what really excited me about him was that he was not, Brother G's getting ready, come on, he was not. It wasn't about him. It was more about him opening up the door. And one of the things that Pastor that Bishop said to me was that you have to be introduced. Did you hear what I just said? You have to be introduced. And so I'm saying that to some of you all that's been wanting to do outreach and who's been wanting to do an international trip, that here's an opportunity to be introduced. I hope you catch that. I hope you catch what I just said. Here's an opportunity for you to be introduced. And so now we've got Brother G on here. I'm getting ready to bring him on in. Let me do this first. I gotta unmute him. Let me do it. And here we go. And good morning, son. Good morning. God bless you. I didn't see you before you left out the house this morning, but God bless you. I pray that all is well in your life. And my question to you today is, how are you doing?
Doing good. How you?
All right, all right. Well, we're doing fine, and I was just sharing a little bit before you came on. But one of the other things, right before we get into any type of conversation, I do want to say that I am representing Steph Curry this morning. I have on my Steph Curry jersey because Steph Curry carried the Warriors last night, the victory last night, and scored over 50 points as in a much needed win. They did what they needed to do. So I'm representing today. But to God be the glory. We thank Brother G for coming on. I don't know if he's got something on the top of his mind, but if he does, we're gonna run with it right fast. So Brother G, go ahead, talk to me.
You be talking like I'm not on here.
Yeah, you on here? Go ahead.
Yeah. Uh. So what you was talking about?
Well, I was just sharing about the Kenya family, and I also mentioned about just being nice. Man, you had
Yeah.
talked about that. Just it and here's the thing, G. It
It go a
doesn't
long
take.
way.
Yeah, it does. And here's and your brother Abram says, and when people are simply nice, others are willing to assist and serve because they know they are
Yep.
working with nice people. And then he came back. Excuse me, he said, I appreciate you, Bishop. But here's the thing. A lot of times, even within a family setting, and I'll let you run with it, but even within a family setting, a lot of times we forget that we owe each other still courtesy. We owe each other saying thank you. Um, I'm blessed. You work at a auto shop, and I give you my vehicle to keep it up. And I never give it to you with the impression that because you my son, you just supposed to do it. You know what I'm saying? And I always try to tell you thank you. I think I tell you thank you, and if I don't tell you thank you, I'm telling you thank you now because I appreciate it. Because one thing that I've learned is um, being nice is not a crime. And when you be nice. It's just like when you go through the door and you open the door and let somebody walk in front of you when you're going to the store or whatever. You'll find that others will do you that way. But a lot of times we allow life, whoo, my God, we allow life pressures, we allow things that's going on in our life to seem to override our niceness. In other words, we want to come up with an excuse. And I just believe, as my drill sergeant over 40 plus years ago said, that the effective range of an excuse is zero. So the bottom line is my goal is always to be nice. Go ahead, G.
Yeah. Yeah. That was good. Um, I was I was thinking about you know, just life in general over the past weekend, and I just found myself putting up like different, you know, posts on Instagram and stuff. And I noticed that my negative posts got positive
Mm-hmm.
interactions, and my
Mm-hmm.
positive posts got
Mm-hmm.
nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
so it kind of got me to thinking that, you know, and we always say it, but it's the truth because I literally just did this over the past weekend. But when folk think that you're not doing better than them, or I'm not even gonna say not doing better than them, but not
Come
even
on.
doing as good as them, or
Come
they
on.
feel like they have a one up on you, or they
Come
feel
on.
like, you know,
Yes.
because of whatever going on in their situation, if your situation might seem a little bit better, folk got all day to pray with you, all day to send you
Mm.
praying hand emojis. I'm thinking about you, God gonna do it, this, that, and the third, right? And then you find yourself putting something positive up,
Mm. Mm. Mm.
and not only do like some folk, you know, not say, not only do, well, on top of not saying nothing, then you get the group of people that fake try to get a kick out of it, like,
Mm-hmm.
oh you, oh you think you doing something, oh
Right.
you think you
Right.
better than somebody, you
Right.
know, one of those situations. And it was like, you know, you find yourself like dealing with that, and you see that, you know, you find yourself trying kind of like putting yourself in miserable
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
situations, and
Mm-hmm.
putting yourself in
Mm-hmm.
not opportune situations, what,
Mm-hmm.
to appease to somebody else,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
because of what they going through, or because of what they got going on in their life. And you know, and I just had to, you know, come to like the realization that, you know, my success don't got nothing to do with your failure. You
Ooh.
know, like nothing that I do had anything impacted to do with what you got going on. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm not, you know, I'm not here to like try to sound arrogant, or I'm trying to be as humble as I can, because what people don't like is when you do start popping it a little bit. You
Yeah.
feel me?
Yeah.
And I feel like as people we need to do that more. I don't think we pop it enough,
Yeah.
especially as black people. I don't feel
Yeah.
like we pop it enough of what we really got going on, because you got to be your biggest supporter at the end of
Yes.
the day.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
I don't know, you know, I don't know, you know, who all these fans, who all these people they got think they got fans of this, that, and the third, because a real fan only like you when you doing good.
Uh-oh. You said something. You
You
said
feel me? And
something.
I'm a
Yep.
biggest fan. I'm a biggest fan. Dad can ask you now. When we had Kirko Chains and he was in the Mercedes Benz balling, I love the dude. He lose, he lost them 3 games. Dad come home. What's going on with your man? That ain't my man. I hate that dude. You know, so
Right.
as you
Right.
gotta be your biggest fan, boy. On top of that,
Yes.
you gotta be your biggest critic too.
Yes.
You know,
That's right.
you gotta understand when, you know, you're
Mm-hmm.
not doing what you supposed to do. Like you said, when you're not being a good person. And I think we talked about this a little bit last night, and I'm sorry that that's really all I like talking about, because the way we are in world is we got evil people, bro, and it's like
Mm.
the famous babyface song, it could go either way on any day. You could switch those words out with love, with care, with hate, with passion, whatever. But you know, this the simple song of sorry for the stupid things I do, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes a wrong don't know that they wrong. You know, sometimes people don't know that they being evil. You know,
Right.
so we gotta
Right.
have, you know, a
Right.
little
Right.
bit of grace with people, but at
Right.
the
Right.
same time, we gotta let, you know, folk understand and know that, you know, it's boundaries and guidelines to,
Mm-hmm.
you know, how you could treat a person. You know,
Mm-hmm.
just because you feel a certain type of ill will to a subject, you can't take it out on a person, you know, on people and being, you know.
Yes.
I think a lot of times we want to take our situation anger out on people that we either want help from or we think that we need to be getting the help from, instead of trying to
Mm.
just get the help. It really, it boils
Oh,
down to
that's
fully
good. That's
communication, for
good.
real, for real.
That's
I think
good.
if we just communicated with each other better, and I learned that, I learned that to myself a long time ago. When I
Mm-hmm.
just started communicating with you better, all my situations was better.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
when but when you just automatically going into some arrogantly, like, man, this nigga, I mean, man, he better,
Right.
he, like, you going
Yeah.
into the
Yeah.
situation. I mean, he got to do it. He my father. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
he's supposed to do it if he love me.
Yeah.
When you going into it with that arrogant mindset, your mouth not even gonna be saying the right words to the
Yeah.
person to even get what you need to get done. And then you find yourself knowing you need the help, or knowing you need support, knowing you need the
Mm-hmm.
guidance, knowing you need the comfort, knowing you need the protection. You will let your arrogance, you will let your pride get in the way and say, you know what, instead of let me shutting my mouth and listening, you
Mm-hmm.
know what, instead of me letting me let me change these words up while I'm talking, out the side of my mouth, we'll go even deeper down, because we think that we proving the point
Mm.
by going even more overboard.
My God.
I learned a long time ago, like, when you just go to them with grace, and that's really what this is about.
Yeah.
Forget being about nice
Yeah.
communication.
Yeah. Yeah. I like that. Yeah.
Communication really
Yeah.
be the fault, the fault of a lot of situations
Yeah.
and beings. Point being, Jerry Jones for the Dallas Cowboys tried to make a contract with one of
Uh-huh.
his players
Uh-huh.
without the agent, without the player's agent. Now this player
Bypass.
is
Bypass. Yeah.
now this player is signed to this agent.
Mm-hmm.
So does that mean the player can't, do business without his agent? No, because he could still sign a contract. He just still got to
Right.
pay his agent the 3%.
Right.
But when you sign to somebody, like my dad always said, your word, your name is your law.
Mm-hmm.
He signed to him. So they are bonded by his
Mm-hmm.
word, by his
Mm-hmm.
law. They're
That's right.
bonded.
That's right.
So he said no business will be done without my agent.
Uh-huh.
Whereas Jerry Jones tried to bypass the agent, to probably try to get some verbiage in there that,
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
might
That'll
not
come
pick
back
up
there.
on
Right. Right.
his. But
Right.
but instead of being honest with the dude and saying, you know what, we ain't got it like how we supposed to, but we'll be able to backload it in 2 years, and you could
Mm-hmm.
get the money in the back end. You just you try to make a situation that wasn't even in a good space. You make it worse by now having pinning. Y'all supposed to be working together. Now
Mm-hmm.
you pinning him against you, and you against him.
Right. Right.
Because
Right.
like he said, he's not doing no business while his agent. So now the
Mm-hmm.
agent is feeling sideways about you.
Yes.
Now the
Yes.
player is saying, "Wow, this is how low he would get."
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep.
So when our communication skills get better, and the arrogance of our communication gets better, then I feel like everything else will kind of, like, find its way, to work itself out,
I like
but
that. I like
but
that.
yeah, like I said, you taught me a long time
Yeah.
ago. I mean, through a lot of situations that I was in, through a lot of, just, like, just trying to grow up. You taught me a lot, through those, situations, and not even teaching me, but we went through this, what we're talking
Yeah.
about.
Yeah.
We went through the times where I was arrogantly coming to you like you were supposed to do something for
Yeah.
me. But really, all I was really trying to say is, Dad, I'm in trouble and I need some help.
Right. Right. Right.
But
Well,
but for whatever but for whatever reason, I'm gonna let you go. But for whatever reason, that just seemed too hard to say. It just
yeah.
seemed too hard to say, Dad, I'm in a pickle, man, and I
Yeah.
really need your help.
Yeah.
Instead, I'm coming to you like, yeah, this, that, and the
Yeah.
third just happening. I need $400-$500.
Right. 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 But I think also too, and I appreciate everything that you said. Um, it's learning as from a parent standpoint. And I got parents on here, and I think I can get some amens with this. It's a learning process for us, and in most cases, it's a teachable moment for you. In other words, I had to teach you that if you needed to get the best out of me, you had to come to me a certain way. It wasn't that I was sitting high and making you worship me by no
Right.
means, but I was
Yeah,
letting
yeah,
you
yeah.
know that we're not buddies. Don't get it twisted. When I then you my the Fantastic Four, everybody on here know the Fantastic Four. I love with all my entire heart. But at the same time, I am your father, and so we can have laughable moments. We can have buddy moments. You follow what I'm saying? But then there's times that we have to maintain our relationship in its proper order. And so if I allow you that. And I don't want to use grace in this particular point because the grace is what I showed you why I was instructing you how to fix it, how to come to me to get the best out of me. But here's the thing: if I allow you to go through life like that, then what will end up happening is you will think that you okay to do life like that. And then all of a sudden, when other situations come, that here we go, that people don't give a hoot about you. The one thing that I tried to instill in you when it comes to even to work, when it comes to work, y'all ain't no buddies at no on no job. Don't ever get it twisted that y'all so tight. Let cuts have to come and see what happens. You hear what I'm
And,
saying?
and, and votes need to be made. Ain't
Yeah,
nobody
yeah.
voting on themselves.
Yeah. So God bless you, Overseer Burton. Thank you for joining. So the thing that we always want to emphasize is, and you brought it out, wonderful. Your communication skills can get you a long way. And there are certain words that even as a child we start teaching. And as I started the conversation off earlier today by just saying thank you. It does not have anything to do with our relationship. Thank you is universal in this whole wide world. Now, some might not understand the word thank you on the English side, but they can understand it coming out of your mouth and the gesture that you have towards them. So it's just important that we remember that we need each other, and in order for us to excel and be work in this kingdom that God has created, because as I always say, this is the day that the Lord has made. Here's the thing. While you was asleep, G, he was creating the day, and I've gotten personal with it. He was creating the day for you. Let that sink in. He was creating today for you. And when each person takes that responsibility that today was created for me, and then he comes back and he says, I just need you to rejoice and be glad in it. Well, in order to rejoice and be glad, that means your attitude has to be on a certain level. Listen, I can't even go deep with it today because our time is almost up. When you start getting good, when you start talking about the goodness of the Lord, your time seems to shoot by. But what I'm saying is, when you truly understand that He created, while I was asleep, while I was resting, while He even allowed me to rest peacefully, I didn't toss and turn. You follow what I'm saying? He was already preparing today for me. Now, you said something before. I'm gonna give you the final words before I do my advertisements for the rest of the week. But here's one of the things that you said. You came up and said the audacity of you having a bad day, creating that for somebody else. I'm gonna give you the final words, and I want to say to the Faith and T family, hang on for a few seconds after he finished, because I got some house announcements. And G, go ahead, talk. Give us the final words.
Yeah, maybe we can talk about this next week. But
Yeah.
and I know all of us have done it before because I, like you said, when you said it, it just it felt it felt like, yeah, that's what it be. But why does, when we need any of those like 6 7 things we talked about, the comfort, the
Mm-hmm.
protection, the help, the guidance, why, when we need any of those things, why does it make us feel like, when we know who we want to get it from, when we feel like we have an idea where we should go, why does it feel like it is that they're belittling us, or that
Yeah. Yeah.
they are they're in a superior like framework, while they try to help this little old peasant. Why does our, and not to say everybody, but I know for a fact at one point somebody has, when you needed help, you felt like, I feel like I'm a peasant getting,
Right. Right.
I need a
Yeah.
superior king to help me, and
Yeah.
I'm the peasant. Why,
Yeah.
maybe we could, like,
Yeah.
talk about that next
We'll
week,
come back
because
on it next week. Yeah,
that's definitely like a, because you was like, I don't want you to think that I'm like this,
yeah.
king or
Yeah.
whatnot. And it's kind of like, that is where you kind of have that little like thing operating in your stomach at the same time, knowing that that's not the case, but it's
Right.
like, man, yeah, so
Yeah, yeah, we'll double back on it next week. G, as always, I appreciate you for coming on, giving your perspective of life between your generation and ours. And that was the whole objective of our wisdom. You have definitely been a jewel to this to the Faith and Tea family. And to everybody that joined us today, thank you so much. Listen, on this coming Friday, we're going to be in Orlando, Florida, but that's not going to stop us from doing inspirational Friday. And so I want you to come and join us. We're going to have on here none other than the first assistant, Bishop James Farmer Jr., and you're in for a treat. So come join us this coming Friday for Inspirational Friday. And give me just a couple of more seconds, because we're getting ready to release our commercial for Kenya. I want to thank the media team that put this together. And so here we go. My name is Daddy. I am 10 years old. Thank you, Bishop Dagger, for food and school fees. My name is Delphine. I am 10 years old. Thank you, Bishop Gregory, for school fees and for food. School fees and food. Thank you.
Join Bishop Gregory Twilly and Phenomenal Outreach Ministries as we embark on a life-changing journey to Kenya, East Africa. For 9 powerful days, October 13th through the 21st, we will pour into pastors, tour a local school, and build lasting fellowship and community. This is more than a trip. It's a divine assignment. Do you feel the call to be a part of something greater? Now is your chance. For more information or to get involved, email phenomenaloutreach07@gmail.com today.
Awesome job. Awesome job. We thank you all so much. Listen, we're serious about this thing. So if you want to go with us, reach out to us. We will definitely give you the information. We're assisting. We got some fundraisers coming up to help with the cost and everything. But they are so excited about us coming over, and we're going to make it happen. So listen, you all have a phenomenal rest of the day. Remember, it's the middle of the week. It's hump day. If you've made it this far, you can push the next 2 days. Orlando, we're on our way. I will be leaving out of here tomorrow morning, and you will see us once again on this coming Friday, as I said, with none other than Bishop Farmer. So you all have a phenomenal rest of the day, and we're out. God bless. Oh, it is Giving Wednesday. So these are the ways that you can give. Sow into our seeds. You see what we're doing over there. You saw my young people showing appreciation of what we're doing. God bless you.